In today's episode, we're going to be reacting to some of the craziest and creepiest videos that I found on TikTok. Let's get into it.
Okay, this image of this almost perfectly square-looking formation on Mars is causing a lot of interest right now. And I can confirm it is 100% real, because if you go to the original source captured on the Mars Orbiter camera, the image was taken from a tiny slice in this crater. Then, if you zoom into the top of that image, you find this. Now, the reason it's getting so much attention is that people are pointing out that perfectly straight lines or right angles don't exist in nature, and natural processes typically don't create such large and symmetrical shapes, which also makes it much harder to just dismiss as pareidolia. According to NASA analysis, each side is roughly 3 kilometers in length. Now, on the other side, this picture was taken all the way back in 2001, but is resurfacing now. And let's be honest, we've also been here before with the Mars tunnels and faces on Mars. So what do you guys think? Is this something interesting, or are we just looking at it too deep?
Yeah, I'm glad he actually clarified that it was an older photo. And yeah, I mean, as far as the structure goes, that definitely looks like a built-in type of structure. You can even see where it has potentially rooms. It's a very interesting photo, I'm not gonna lie. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. I think it's just a very, very rare coincidence. If anything, I would love to see more photos like this start popping up on Mars and other places, but it's very rare.
I'm starting to lose my mind a little bit as I'm trying to piece together this information about this ranch. It's called Asthma Ranch, and it's about these Christian homesteaders that found this box of tapes whenever they were discovering their land. And all these strange things start occurring, but they show you this information, and like piecing it together just gets under your, like, I can't figure it out, but I can't stop watching it.
Recording what is in my mind.
The little bits of information are so convoluted the way that they're piecing them together. I don't know if this is like a cult, if there's danger, but these were just a bunch of Christian homesteaders that were setting out to do something good.
Prepare for heaven's light.
But it turned into something much more, and now it's like this diabolical haunted mystery, and I have to know the answers because I can't stop trying to figure out what's going on the Asthma Ranch. The Asthma Journals was released over on YouTube, and I'll put a link below where you can find it to help take part in solving this mystery. There are 4 tapes available in an introduction that tells you what's going on in the ranch, and there's a new tape apparently releasing this Saturday.
I looked this up, and the Asthma Ranch, it looks interesting. It's all just found footage type of content or analog horror. I might check it out. I don't think I'll react to it on here, but maybe my second channel. Let me know what you guys think about this. Is it something that you would be interested in seeing, or is it something that should just be passed?
You want to see images of a UAP that was summoned on command? Sounds crazy, right? Well, Jake Barber says he and his team have done it. And in a minute, I can even show you photos that he took of it. In a jaw-dropping interview on American Alchemy, former intelligence officer Jake Barber talks with Jesse Michaels, and he reveals how he's been able to summon an egg-shaped UAP on command. He and his team have actually been able to do this successfully more than once. Check out this moment from the interview where he breaks it all down.
And reorganized and are now working with Arrow, I can make the egg show up. And we have. And we've demonstrated it post-program. And we did it in August.
Oh my God.
In broad daylight.
Really?
Yeah.
So you can summon the egg?
Yes, we can summon the egg.
That is absurd.
It seems absurd, but we've tracked it in broad daylight, the egg, moving at 10,000 miles per hour.
Wow.
So based on range. And it comes when at a precise timing when we've asked for. We're doing demonstrations for the new director of Arrow. They're fully privy. They've seen our videos. They've seen our data and our report.
So what if UFOs and UAPs aren't just randomly appearing all the time, but they can actually be summoned at will? If it's true, it continues to reinforce the absolute key role of the consciousness connection when it comes to the phenomenon. What do you think?
To me, those just look like photos of thrown baseballs. The other day, a subscriber commented on my video where they were talking about summoning egg-shaped UFOs, and they're like, you know what else gets summoned? Demons. It's got a point.
This is truly some creepy home security footage. This homeowner was going through all of their security feeds when they came upon this video. What appeared to be an unidentified person or even something looked around the side of their house, noticed the camera, and seemed to duck back away. But the question everybody is asking, was this a real human? Was this something else? Or was this even a ghost? Take a look at this and tell me what you think.
Paranormal or not, if I seen that on my cameras, that would definitely creep me out. I would think someone is lurking around my property. Not to mention that their eyes are kind of glowing, so that's a little weird too. Let me know what you guys think that was. I am still leaning more on it being a person though, more than anything. Hey, if you haven't done so already and you're enjoying the show, give it a like. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe. For everyone that's currently watching and or subscribed, thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. I would also like to give a special shout out to all of my members. So to everyone that is an active member and you see on the screen right now, thank you guys so much for being a member.
Giant hole in the sun could trigger solar storms in early February. Interesting. So 2 giant holes in the sun could create impactful space weather for Earth in early February. Recent NOAA satellite images show 2 coronal holes, that's right, 2 holes, areas on the surface of the sun with cooler plasma. Forecasters with the NOAA Space Weather Prediction Center are monitoring the larger coronal hole in the northern hemisphere and a smaller, narrower hole in the southern hemisphere. This is not funny, people. Both are likely to provide an enhanced and disturbed solar wind environment to start off February, but our models indicate more likely influences from the northern coronal hole, said Sean Dahl, service coordinator at NOAA's Space Weather Prediction Center. These dark areas on the sun, as seen in satellite images, can produce space weather events known as coronal hole high-speed streams, which can trigger northern lights on Earth. SWPC rates solar storms on a 5-level scale, with 5 being the most extreme and rare space weather conditions. As of Tuesday, the SWPC is considering active conditions between February 1st and the 3rd, just short of G1, the first level of geomagnetic storm. Oh boy, as the CHSS influences first begin to react to Earth, there is a chance for G1 minor storm conditions. If G1 levels are reached as a coronal high-speed stream impacts Earth, the northern lights could be visible along the northern tier and upper Midwest. So a coronal hole looks like a vast area of blackness in the sun because coronal holes consist of cooler, less dense plasma. This plasma is able to travel at faster speeds into space, streaming along the sun's magnetic field lines. A coronal hole high-speed stream produces increased solar winds that leave the sun radially. So in summary, when a CH rotates to the center of the sun, directly facing Earth, the elevated speed starts its journey towards our planet. So by the time the CH rotates to somewhere between 40 and 60 degrees west longitude toward the right side limb of the sun, that is usually when the HSS and its associated effects reach us here at Earth. However, CHSS can sometimes have lasting impacts because the sun spins every 27 days. If Earth gets hit by a high-speed stream, there's a chance it could strike again in another 27 days. And now you know the cause and effects of a giant hole in the sun.
That gives a whole nother meaning to black hole sun. But all jokes aside, it's probably going to be a really interesting year for weather then, because that just sounds terrifying.
Have you guys heard that thing about the night vision goggles? You know, night vision now, it's green. Yep. But in the Vietnam War, the night vision goggles that they were issued were red light. Multiple people in the U.S. military that were using them were seeing what they were reporting as flying demons. There's an instance where they're flying these helicopters in Vietnam. It was a safe zone, no hostility. And then the gunner in the back just started shooting. And the pilot's like, "What are you shooting at?" And this guy, he was like panicked and he's like sweating and like, "What are you shooting at?" And he's like, "The demon." Apparently this giant winged demon creature was like flying at him. And then people on the ground in the jungles that were using it, they were also seeing like these demonic looking, freaky looking creatures. And so the military banned those night vision goggles.
What?
And they replaced them with green light. Apparently a lot of these dudes were shook to the core of everything that they saw with these goggles on.
Did the bullets work?
That was my follow-up.
It was just prayer.
Yeah, I don't know.
I've looked into it a little bit because I heard the same thing. They were putting stuff inside the chemicals in the goggles that the chemical was literally leaking, and so they were literally tripping.
Quantum physics is just discovering through science what ancient civilizations have been saying all along, which is evident in structures like the pyramids around the world, which is a connection of energy, frequency, and vibration. Just like Nikola Tesla said, that if you want to know the answer of the universe, it's all about energy, frequency, and vibration. The ancients figured out that there is a connection between the universe and the cosmos and the Earth's energy grid lines. And this is also echoed in spirituality, where our thoughts and our consciousness affects our reality. What do you think about this? Share your comments. I will be releasing videos that connects the dots and discusses this in a lot more details. I'm really intrigued by this new field, and that we are just now uncovering what they have known all along.
I definitely do believe that in the past that they had their own forms of technology, or they had a way to utilize technology differently than how we utilize it today. I don't think that everything that we have today is new. I think what we have today that we say has been invented in the past. It's just been so long ago and forgotten because of either natural disasters or history over time just changed the narrative completely.
Again, starting from the big picture, the thing that is so significant for me about working with crystals and gemstones, which you find in every classical tradition, the Egyptian temple science did it, the Himalayan tradition is full of works with gemstones for healing, for even overcoming karmic challenges. They use them for what's called astral remedies, because they bring in particular vibratory forces that can counteract things that are detrimental in the person's karmic path that could manifest very negatively otherwise. And one of the most incredible systems that unfortunately we almost lost the secrets from, but is now being brought back, is in the Chinese Taoist tradition. Mm-hmm. Because when the communists took over China around 1949, they only kept in the true Taoist healing of Chinese medicine that occurred before that. They kept the part of it that was the acupuncture, and they kept the plant medicine. Because I thought, well, the plant medicine is similar to the Western use of pharmaceuticals, and so we'll keep that in. But there was an entire, what they called stone medicine, a mineral medicine, that was just as developed and advanced and complex as Chinese medical use of plants. But what happened is that they destroyed the Taoist temples, they killed many of the Taoist masters, and so a lot of the knowledge of the Chinese Taoist art of the use of stones for whether it's physiological healing or energetic healing or things to activate people at spiritual levels was almost lost.
I like the idea that there is crystals out there that have forms of healing properties. And I know there's some people out there that say you shouldn't believe in crystals and things like that. You should just believe in God and Jesus. And I think that that's fine too. I just don't understand why also, if God exists and he created the earth, why not have something that he created be a part of your medicine? That would make sense to me, especially when you can test certain studies on crystals and it's proven that, hey, this crystal resonates at a certain frequency and certain frequencies are good for you. I do believe if there is a God, that God would have put this stuff on here for that purpose, for us to figure out and to utilize to benefit ourselves. Let me know what you guys think in the comments.
People are freaking out after realizing they definitely should not be doing this. This is insane. The fact people didn't know this, but a lot of people didn't apparently. Everyone has a bed, of course. You're probably laying in it right now. But when was the last time that you changed your bedding? But not just that, your actual pillows, duvet, and everything about the bed. As I'm sure you're aware, when you sleep in a bed, obviously it's gonna get a bit dirty. If you're laying in the same things constantly, it'd be like wearing the same t-shirt for like a month in a row. Now, a lot of people thought that you change your sheet on the bed maybe once a month, your duvet covers, pillow covers once every month or few weeks. But it's definitely not that, and just wait till you see that you have to actually replace the physical stuff as well. So regularly replacing the bed sheets, just what you're laying in constantly, is essential because it gets absolutely filthy. Research from scientists and doctors show that you should be changing your sheets every single week. And there's even some people that do it every single day. Now, what people also didn't realise is how often you should actually replace like the physical duvet or pillows. You should not have the same sheets or duvet covers at all after 2 to 3 years, and I know some of you 100% do. Your actual pillows should be replaced between 2 and 3 years, so after that time you have to just chuck it out. Your actual duvet, again, between 2 and 3 years, and the actual mattress 6 to 8. And I just know for certain there's a lot of you who have the same bedding that you've probably had since you were a child. Oh, it's been washed, it's fine. Well, apparently not.
Honestly, I can agree with almost all of that. Replacing the pillows and the sheets and everything after a couple of years, probably a good thing. But I'll fight over my mattress. That'll probably stick with me to the day I die. Unless something seriously goes wrong with it, I don't think that mattress is going anywhere.
So we know we're in a time loop. We know that 1961 is playing very significant right now, right? We know that there was the LA fires in 1961. Obviously, we know that there was a plane with figure skaters that crashed in 1961. You know what else happened in 1961? The Bay of Pigs and the building of the Berlin Wall. So we know what we can expect them to play with the rest of this year. Now, the Bay of Pigs feels extra significant considering that video that went viral, right? With that girl messing with that Ouija board. And what did she say? The Bay of Pigs, right? That was the only one that I hadn't heard about. I'm gonna leave this here before I get a damn community guideline violation.
These miners found something that could change the history books. This is the story of the Tsol Princess, and it might just make you question everything you know. It all started in 1969 when some miners near the village of Tsolsky, Siberia, were looking for coal about 230 feet below the surface. One of the miners dislodged a large rock, revealing a passageway to a hidden chamber, and what was in it defied all explanation. Sitting there before them was an ornate 8-foot-long marble sarcophagus. The miners thought there might be treasure inside, so they opened it up. Instead, they found this beautiful woman inside, dressed like royalty, looking around 30 years old, perfectly preserved within this strange pink liquid. Although she wasn't alive, the miners thought she still might have been. Maybe she was sleeping, as there was no sign of bodily decay, and strangely, her eyes were still open. But there was something different about her. She had 6 fingers, and a third eye in the middle of her forehead as well. Now, the miners told their boss, so he called the Soviet military, and they came into town, wound up cordoning off the whole place, and told locals not to talk about this. Now, if you thought that was something already, it gets weirder. So they tried to take the sarcophagus out of the mine, but it was too heavy to lift. So in order to lighten the load, they decided to pump out this mystery pink liquid. But the woman inside immediately started to turn black and decompose. And in an effort to preserve her body, they put the fluid back in the sarcophagus, and the woman regained her pristine form. Eventually, they got the sarcophagus out and shipped it to a scientist for study. And shortly afterwards, all of the miners who were present during the find all died under mysterious circumstances, and the KGB buried the story for decades until it came back to light in 2002. And now there's even a monument about the Tsol Princess near the mine where she was allegedly found. And according to the story, the scientist couldn't determine what the pink liquid was. He also found that the woman shared our DNA, so she was human, but he thought likely from some highly advanced, lost ancient civilization, and that her existence called into question the history of humanity and the Earth itself. And the craziest thing about all of this is that he believed that based on the geological layer that the sarcophagus was found in, the woman could have been anywhere from 100 to 800 million years old.
If you have horses, or if you have any sort of cattle or whatever, but mainly horses, okay, if you've noticed that they have braids on them, oh yeah, most of the times when their horses have braids and they didn't do it themselves, a duende braided their hair. That's like a sign that there's duendes in that area.
What the fuck? I've never heard about that.
Some people are saying it's witches, but I'm gonna show you a video of this guy. He's basically talking about his experiences with duendes, and one of them is a statue, because you know some people believe duendes are like little goblins running around, but other ones are like statues and shit. In Mexico, there's even little markets where you could buy some, and basically you give offerings, and you have like some sort of like pact with them. You give them whatever they want, and then they help you out whenever you need, right? But you let me know what the statue does.
Wait, what?
Les piden cosas para su vida. Por ejemplo, a este brother le piden ayúdame a dejar el vicio. Entonces, quiero dejar de fumar, por favor ayúdame. Entonces vienen, dejan cigarros. Quiero dejar de tomar, por favor ayúdame. Le dejas dejar de tomar, por favor ayúdame. Le dejas...
There's no way that's real, bro.
So it blinked.
Oh, it winked. It didn't blink. It was only one eye.
And yo, these legends have been around for a minute. It goes from Ireland to the Philippines to Mexico to even other parts in Central America and even South America. There's no way people could be telling the same lie.
Maybe some mysteries were never meant to be solved. In 1837, a terrifying legend gripped Victorian England. Spring-heeled Jack. Witnesses described a sinister figure with clawed hands, glowing red eyes, and an inhuman ability to leap over walls walls. Reports first emerged in London, where terrified residents spoke of a man or something else, dressed in a tight oilskin suit and a flowing cape. He attacked unsuspecting women, clawing at them before vanishing into the night with a supernatural leap. One of the most infamous encounters involved Mary Stevens, who claimed Jack grabbed her and breathed blue flames into her face before fleeing. The next day, a carriage driver swerved in terror as a figure leapt in front of his vehicle. The creature let out a maniacal cackle before disappearing into the darkness. Sightings spread beyond London to Manchester, Birmingham, and Liverpool, all describing the same eerie traits: piercing red eyes, fire breathing, and impossible jumps. Panic swept across England and theories exploded. Was he a cruel aristocrat with hidden gadgets, a demonic entity preying on the fearful, or something even more otherworldly? Despite mass hysteria and investigations, no one was ever caught. Over time, sightings faded, but the legend never died. Spring Hill Jack became the subject of plays, penny dreadfuls, and urban folklore, a chilling reminder of a mystery that refuses to be explained. Was he real, a paranormal menace, or simply a product of mass hysteria? What do you believe?
Cloud seeding, we've talked about that quite a bit.
Which is so funny because the concept of chemtrails, if you were to bring that up 3 years ago, people would be like, there's no such thing. And then it's like all of a sudden we had our senators in Florida proposing to ban weather manipulation.
Yeah. Dubai does cloud seeding. They steal water from other regions so that they can water their dry regions. Like that's like a thing that they're in trouble for.
I mean, I remember in Africa they would try to plant a bunch of trees to change the climate. Like it would bring in different weather patterns.
That sounds way smarter than spraying stuff in
No,
the air.
it was brilliant. It was like they changed complete areas of drought by irrigation and planting.
That's crazy. That documentary, Geoengineering, and this dude, he collected a sample when he saw that the planes were, because you see the line. And so that day he set out a bunch of stuff and collected whatever was falling down, looked under a microscope, and had all these elements of a patent that the US government has for cloud seeding and weather manipulation.
Oh, wow.
And it's like, stop doing it!
Quit doing this.
I will say, I definitely believe that cloud seeding is happening more often than what it's supposed to. And the amount of chemtrails that I see on an everyday basis is crazy. And the way it works here in South Carolina is I'll see a whole bunch of chemtrails, and then maybe 4 hours later, the clouds are thin and they look ripply and very wavy, like there's radio waves going through them. It does not look very normal at all. And then the next thing you know, the clouds are dark and it's dreary and it's stinky outside. Definitely do think that there's something up with that.
Everything we do just takes the longest possible route around when these guys did it perfectly 6,000 years ago. Look at this. Middle point of that angle can be found, use no measurement, just circles. Proportionate circles can find the center of any angle of any size. Do it with a stick and a string. Back then, proportion was more important than math. I'm going to prove the little angle thing, but look at the Giza Plateau. It's proportionate. All of their art, architecture, and sculpture was proportionate. All you need was 2 circles for literally anything that they did. And then you just use this guy, the 3, 4, 5 triangle for everything else. Watch this. That triangle is actually hidden in one of the measurements in the Great Pyramid. Actually so easy, you can use this to align your buildings to certain times of the year. If you watch the sun's movement for a year straight, it's going to form an angle. That angle creates the same triangle that's inside the hidden measurement of the Great Pyramid. The Egyptians and the Sumerians use it to teach literally everything. You can use it to teach everything because it's how the universe works. Instead, we cram kids into these, and we have to say explicitly, math is fun. If you have to say it's fun, it's not fun. Proper way to learn about the world that you're in is to learn from the world that you're in. That is sacred geometry. A deep understanding of frequency's relationship to form is how they unlocked all of their minds.
I call it the yin and yang because you can identify, when you look in the center of it, it has the yin and yang symbol in it. I use the sacred cubit length. There's 2 of them. The lost cubit is 23.49 inches, and I work with the sacred cubit, which is 20.6 inches. So take half of 20.6, 10.3 inches. You find the center, and then you take the wire and you put it down. And you grab the top one and you bring it towards you. One is against you, one is towards you. And away and around, And once I get to this point, I have the yin and yang made. See? The yin and yang. So you grab it in the center and you bring the wire around. Now the two of them are together. And it's easy. You just put pressure, you hold them together, top and bottom, and you just curl them automatically around each other. If you get a pair of needle nose pliers that doesn't have the serrations here, it will be better to do coils. I can take the wire and I can squeeze it and make it tight all around. So I just keep doing that and then it gets tight. And then you just bring it together, the ends tight, there's your coil.
This guy makes some really good work. His name is Ascension Tools. He really creates cool orgonite generators, pocket orgonites, and just really positive energy devices. It's actually where I learned about orgonite pyramid.
Okay.
And then this area is closed for archaeological stuff.
Gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, it's your older homie, Mr. Black, aka the South Mountain Guy. And check this out. I came out here. We are in the valley of the heads where we found all the statues in the heads. I brought my geologist out here this weekend. Let me just show you what we found. Hey people, so here we are, and according to my geologist, this is a hand that's buried, and there's one finger right there with the fingernail, and there's another finger, see the knuckle bone. We got a knuckle bone right here, and this finger's going down into the dirt, and there's a, looks like what could be a pinky finger going down. Now tell me people, is this a giant Nephilim hand? Is this a dragon? Is this a dragon foot, or is this something more prehistoric? Could this be a dinosaur foot? Once again, here's one finger with the knuckle going down. Here's another hand right here with another finger right here, part of the hand going down. Here's the nail, here's the nail, the sharp nail, kind of looks like a talon. And if you see, the hand looks like that. It's crunched up and it's in the ground. It's your older homie, Mr. Black, aka the South Mountain Guy. Go with Jesus. Peace be your journey. And remember, you seen it here second. Peace.
I would definitely say that looks like a finger of some sort. I don't know necessarily dinosaur, but I would really hope to say that it's a giant or a dragon. That would be awesome. I would like to see a follow-up video to this. Alright guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end today's episode. As always, if you enjoyed any of the clips that we watched, there will be a link in the description that'll take you to all the videos that we watched today. And I would also like to say, for everyone that's made it this far, if you are a member, I would like to say thank you guys so much for being a member. But moving forward after this video, I am going to be disabling the membership feature, mainly because I just don't see the value added to it. I'm not really offering much to justify charging 99 cents a month. And on top of it, I feel a little bad because I really didn't want to initially start the memberships in the first place. But at the time, YouTube did ask for me to turn them on, so I did turn it on. And I think I would like to turn them off for this channel. Now, with that being said, again, I really do appreciate everyone that was a member. I really do. But I would also like to say that I do now have a second channel. That's where I will upload different forms of content. And if at any point that channel becomes a partner, I may open up memberships to that channel because there will be a little bit more to offer. And the new channel it's going to be me covering single topics. Like if I see a topic that I really find interest in, that channel will be where I talk about it almost single-handedly, along with other things. If I want to upload a video of me showing on how to create a reaction channel or how to even operate the software called OBS, which is the software I'm using right now to record this video, I may upload all of that stuff there on the second channel. I will have a link in the description to the second channel as well. It's called It's That Guy Dominic. The name's not too different from this channel, and I just overall think that that'll be a fun place for me to upload different videos. If you are interested in going to that side for whenever I do upload content, there it is. And for anyone that does go over there to subscribe to that channel, thank you guys so much for supporting that as well. And with that being said, have a good day.